How are you all doing? Today I thought I'd take a quick look at the Marvel Legends Infinity Gauntlet Thanos. And just gotta say this up front, this is a proper corker of a figure. This is great. This is everything I wanted it to be, and a little bit more. This is a good figure. And before I get into the details of the review, just want to say a big thank you to the fine folks over at Comics and Cocktails. Great store, great service as always. Really love these guys. I think I get pretty much everything from them now, because if you're in the UK, I don't think there's many better. In Demand and Kapow are good. These guys seem to be, I don't know, they're on the ball more. I've had better customer interactions with their customer services, better service from I wanted things done in a certain way. Like I needed something posted to a different address with a note put on it. When they got there, they did all that. They sorted it all out for me. They were amazing. So yeah, big thank you to those folks. They're great. Okay, back onto the figure. Just look at this thing. It's beautiful. It's Thanos. It's the Thanos I know and remember from my childhood. Actually, yeah, just okay, I know I said back to the figure, but you know me, I like to go into the background of my knowledge of a character before I do review of them. So here's just a quick overview of Thanos as he is in my mind. Yeah, first things first, I know probably most of you out there know Thanos from the MCU. That's a good character, but he's not really, in my opinion, Thanos. Thanos is, well, this Thanos in particular, shall I say, is the Thanos from Infinity Gauntlet. And, as I said, you probably know from the movies, he collected all the Infinity Gems, put them onto the Gauntlet, and, well, unlike in that movie, or in those movies, should I say, where he had a sort of slightly altruistic, well, he wanted to get rid of half the life in the universe, so the other half could have a better life. No, in the comic books, he was tasked by Mistress Death, the entity that he loved, to kill half the life in the universe because the fact there was more alive at that moment than had ever lived before was kind of an insult to her, she thought. So Thanos decided to do that. After creating this massive citadel, this monument to his love to death, and to actually not acknowledging it, being like, this is nice and all, but I did give you a job to do here. Thanos decided to snap his fingers, and in that snap, well, he did it. Half the life in the universe just vanished. Not just intelligent life, not just human life, all alien species across the galaxy. Everything went from animal to mammal to insect to vertebrate. In the oceans, in the skies, on the land, everything just went, including heroes and villains. Half of Earth's population gone. Things were, well, pretty disastrous, especially with half the heroes gone, half the emergency services gone. Half of everyone just vanished. And as you can probably guess, this led to a rather major confrontation between Thanos and the forces that remained. Now, I won't spoil how Infinity Gauntlet ended in the comic books. I genuinely recommend you go read it. It's a great story with great art and great writing. And it cemented Thanos as this absolute badass that the reason he is known as like the top villain in Marvel is because of Infinity Gauntlet. Though it doesn't need to be said that he occasionally has the slight embarrassing loss or embarrassing thing, like no one likes to talk about the time he was arrested by 2 policemen, or the Thanos copter, that was a bit embarrassing, or the time he was thoroughly defeated by Squirrel Girl. Yeah, the girl who can control squirrels, she beat him. You've had the Watcher there to confirm, yeah, this is definitely Thanos, and she definitely beat him. But yeah, that's how I knew Thanos in the comics. Though actually, I knew Thanos as well, or I was introduced to Thanos through other means as well, other medium, or media, should I say. Now see, back in the day, we had these strange things called arcades, where you'd go and you'd put actual money in these large cabinets to play video games. And the one I sunk a couple of grand in as a small child whenever I was on holiday camping in my grandmother's caravan down Wales was Marvel Superheroes by Capcom. This game in hale 20p pieces, and I loved the damn thing. You had about 10 characters you could play as. It was like Street Fighter, with Dr. Doom being the second to last boss, and Thanos being the final boss of the game. And anyone who knows anything about fighting games knows this is a great fighting game. It's brilliant. And that was actually, like, I think it might have actually been my first like time seeing Thanos. I was like, who is this guy and why is he the big bad? And I think I read Infinity Gauntlet like a couple of months after, because I think actually someone got at me because of how much I liked this game, and they thought, oh, maybe he'll like this book as well, and I did. It was really good. Not long after that, in fact, actually, I saw Thanos in the Silver Surfer cartoon. That's a great cartoon, by the way. It's like a really operatic thing. It's marvellous. And in that, he was there. He was his classic self, really. The only difference between like that Thanos and the Thanos from the comic books was, because it was a kid's show, they couldn't really have him worshipping death. So instead, he worshipped Lady Chaos. It's just a small change. That's the only real difference. He was still like this operatic villain, this over the top, this presence. It was amazing. He was a really solid villain, and yeah, I dare say probably the best villain in any Marvel cartoon. He was really good. The whole thing ended with a cliffhanger with him destroying the universe, and the show didn't get a second season. So as far as you know, that's how the universe died. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, back onto this figure itself. This figure is beautiful. It's very simple in its colouring, which is good because it's based on the comic books. A very... what's the time? Yeah, 1991, actually, I think Infinity Gauntlet came out. And this is based on the art from that. So Thanos has his gold and blue suit. It's like a blue bodysuit with gold detailing, gold gloves, gold boots, the gold shoulder pad, chest, winglet thingy, and his little blue and gold helmet, and his big old wrinkly purple face and chin. And it's been reproduced here amazingly. Everything's got a bit of depth to it. The gold is kind of flat, but it kind of also works. It's a slightly more orange and sort of like a deeper gold than it comes across on camera. But it's really lovely. And the blue could have easily just been like a simple one-tone blue, but no. They've highlighted it and shaded it. It adds depth to the sculpt. It adds this, I don't know, just higher levels of definition to it. It looks really good. Not only that, but the figure's pretty decently articulated. He's got ball-jointed shoulders, bicep swivel, only single-jointed elbows, but I think that's in... I did that not to damage the sculpt or the way the arms look, and it's okay. They don't get like the massive range of elbow articulation, but it suffices. Wrist swivel and wrist turns, they're really cool. Double jointed knees, ankle joints with rockers, universal joints at the thighs. You know, it looks really good. It also comes with some really great accessories as well. First of all, well, what else could he come with but the Infinity Gauntlet? It fits over his left hand perfectly. It just replaces the fist that came with him as standard. It's really cool. It's sculpted with all the Infinity Gems on it. They're all painted correctly in the right locations. It looks really, really cool. And with that little, like, maniacal smiling face he has, which actually looks really cool as well. He's got dark eyes with this metallic blue paint, which really catches the light amazingly. Mine actually came with the teeth not painted. Bit of a factory mistake there. But 10 minutes of painting with some Citadel paints, he's got his teeth back. You wouldn't notice the difference between how he looks now and how he's supposed to look, but that's the only problem I had with the figure. Everything else was perfect, including the gauntlet, and that's not the only version of the gauntlet we get. We also get a version doing the iconic finger snap, doing that. It looks amazing. As you can see, I've got him posed here with that smile, the way the arms are raised. It just looks really, really good, and this is probably going to be how I display him, just getting ready to end Half-Life in the universe. That's just really cool. But he does also come with another accessory, which is a bit of a, well, not a weird accessory. It's an accessory that is kind of not meant for him. He comes with the crowned head of old man Thanos, of King Thanos, from the storyline Thanos Wins, which I've kind of covered in my Fallen Silver Surfer review. Basically a future Thanos where he's killed all the other life in the universe except for Cosmic Ghost Rider and the Hulk as a pet. This is the head for that. Realistically, this head should go on the previously released versions of Thanos in Marvel Legends, the Build-A-Figure version of him, which was okay. It was a more technologically designed suit, some darker colours. That fits more like the design for King Thanos. Though if you've got like the previous solo release Thanos figure, which was that mould, but in actually using the colours of this figure, so technological design, but with brighter, more comic booky colours, they'd work on that quite well. On this figure, it looks okay. I won't have him like this, and if I'm perfectly honest, I'll probably find someone who has those particular Thanoses it works with and sell it on or pass it on to them. So yeah, I'm really, really impressed with what comes with this figure. Okay, let me just compare this figure to a few others in my collection. Up first, okay, Thanos is a big figure. He's not too big. Here he is next to the Hulk, which is probably the largest figure in my collection at the moment, as far as Marvel Legends are concerned. And yeah, he's at the right size. He was never Hulk size. Well, he was occasionally when artists would go overboard with it, but he's not meant to be the size of the Hulk. He's meant to be muscular and imposing, but not a giant green gamma giant. And comparing the two here, as you can see, that's a perfect, well, they're perfectly in scale with each other. They work really well. Thanos looks like he might be a bit of a physical threat to the Hulk, but that's kind of Thanos' thing. He's not just reliant on physical strength, he's reliant on his intelligence more than anything else, and yeah, they look good together. Here he's next to a standard sized Marvel Legends male book. This is the Retro Spidey. So, as I said, you can tell Thanos is actually a large figure. And just look at the size and the difference in the size of the muscles and the girth of the figure. That's really quite impressive. Here he is next to a more average female book, the Jocasta figure. Again, his size is very imposing. He looks good next to her. Here he is with his fellow video game alumni, Doctor Doom, who actually in the game I was more annoyed trying to defeat Doctor Doom than I was Thanos. I think I only defeated Thanos. Oh god. It took me loads of attempts to beat Doctor Doom. I beat Thanos on my very first attempt. So, yeah. Anyway, the two of them look really good together. No complaints whatsoever. Here he is to, yeah, another one from that video game. Actually, the Hulk was in the game as well. I should have mentioned that. But and Spider-Man, actually. Not far off getting all of them. Oh, no, I just sold off Magneto, didn't I? No, I'm not going to collect the whole set. I'm going to end up collecting the whole set, aren't I? Marvellous. Anyway, here he is next to Captain America. Yet again, both look really good. Both got really nice comic booky, poppy colours, or colours that pop. Look really great together. Here he is next to Iron Man, who, yet again, was in the Marvel Superheroes game, though not this armour. Oh, actually the armour that was in the game, I think, is coming out later this year. There's rumblings of that fact, so, you know, fingers crossed. But here he is with Iron Man in his classic red and gold. Actually, couldn't think of it. I think like one of Thanos' first appearances was against Iron Man while he was wearing this armour, so actually having the two together, they look really cool, and it's nice. Yeah, it's really cool. So yeah, anyway. Figure itself, what do I think of it? End of the day, after all is said and done, this is a fantastic figure. This is a wonderful, wonderful figure. If you can get him, get him. He's currently on sale at like the usual places in the UK, Comics and Cocktails, In Demand, Kapows, Toys of Armour has him in at the minute. They're all great places, really. I mean, it's up to you where you get him from, but if you can get him, get him. I highly recommend him. He's a nice centre. He's actually, yeah, he'd be a nice centrepiece of a display. All the other figures fighting against him with the Gauntlet, it's marvellous looking. I do love this figure. Anyway, folks, that's it. Hope you enjoyed the review. As always, hope you all stay safe, stay sane, and keep on rolling. And with that, I'll see you all next time. Ta-da!